is up, my beautiful Virgo fam? It's your girl Gemma Jade, and I'm going to be reading your oracle cards for the month of September 2021. Please keep in mind that these are general readings, so please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Also, I would advise checking your moon and rising signs as well, Virgo, your moon and ascendant. If you don't know what that is, you can Google free natal charts and just given a little tiny bit of information and your whole astrology chart will come up. Like when I watch astrology, I'm a Pisces sun, Libra moon, Aries rising. So I always watch Pisces, Libra, and Aries, and it gives you a fuller picture. So I'm doing every single sign. So once you find out what the rest of your astrology is, I would recommend checking out those other two videos. Keep in mind as well that Oracle, just like Tarot, is meant to impel, not compel. You have to actually get up and act. I decided it was calling to me to use the Halloween Oracle today. I have 6 or 7 decks that I'm learning how to use. I'm still reading from the book, but I think right now that'll be pretty interesting for you guys to hear the actual meaning of the card and then what comes up on my intuition, because sometimes my intuition is way different than what the card really looks like. I just tell you what I get. This is intuitive Oracle. The book eventually won't be used. Eventually I'll be, piling cards and there'll be longer readings. But for right now, this is what I have for you. At the end of the 3-card reading, I am going to pull one Oracle of the Mermaid card because those are a card of action. And I think that they really help tie the entire reading together. One more thing, Virgo, please make sure to take this as it resonates. If I'm talking about a romantic situation, but you're going through the same thing in a business situation, then obviously, sorry, I got something in my eye. Obviously, the business situation, that's your message. If none of this resonates, it's not your message, and please check your moon and rising signs. With all that being said, I think I covered it all. Let's get started. These messages are for Virgo for September of 2021 and the end of August. Know that it's timeless as well. So while it should happen, either it's happening now or will happen in the month of September, it can go on for the next 3 months or so. I'm going to be with y'all every month from here on out, as long as you guys want me to be. So messages from your spirit guides, your spirit in general, ancestors, your angels, even your spirit animals. In the other deck I'm using, they have some spirit animals that keep popping up. And I meditate over each deck, and that's how I choose which deck I'm going to use for which sign. And the Halloween Oracle, lucky you, is the deck I'm most comfortable with right now. So let's see, Virgo, what do we have for you today? Your first card, Virgo, is Winter, the sacredness of pausing. Your second card, the Underworld, where all things pause and begin again. And your third card, Creating Through the Ashes, the Skull of Flowers. Your first card, Virgo, is Winter. Death is frightening, even though, or perhaps because, it is inescapable. However, as we move into winter, we know it signals a literal and metaphysical death. In some parts of the planet, the extreme weather means snow and ice buries all life and the ground lies fallow and still. In winter, the earth slows down and there is less light and often more wet weather. Many plants die back, many animals are less active, and traditionally, it was a leaner, more difficult time for those who worked on the land for their living. Winter often brought with it the end of a life cycle, a figurative or even literal death. Should the Winter card appear to you, it's time to let what no longer serves you die away. Where it seems natural and right to let things that have been bothering you for some time die back, take real action to change those things. Anything that is superfluous, extra, and burdensome, release it. And so this card, Virgo, definitely I'm getting a strong intuitive feeling, like right on. This is about letting go of what no longer serves you, but not doing it hastily. I'm sure right now, if you haven't been for a while, which I think you have, to take the time and really consider, take the time to pause and really consider, are certain things serving you? Maybe it's a romantic relationship, a business partnership, a familial relationship, whatever it may be. There's something that you've been thinking about for a really long time and wondering if it's serving you anymore, wondering if staying in the situation and or relationship is really best for you if this is what you want. You know, maybe you want a job where there's more opportunity for promotion. Maybe it's a relationship, a romantic one that you're not sure is serving you anymore. You're not sure you want to be in. Whatever it is that you've been ruminating on all this time, because like I said, I feel like this has already been happening. It's happening right now. You're really going through it, kind of taking the time to pause. You see how the moon is behind the leaf. It's nighttime. It's a beautiful card, but you can see that the leaf is in fact dying, and little pieces of it are starting to fall off. And this is what's going to happen to your soul. Our soul loses pieces, Virgo, as we go through abuse, as we go through harshness and emotional pain and turmoil, as we lose loved ones. Little pieces of our soul either blacken or tear off completely. And while we can get it back, it's not an easy thing to do, and it sticks with us and really affects us. It affects how we live, our emotional state, and you can see that happening to this leaf. It's dying. It's literally in the winter of its life, and there's something in your life that is in the winter. It's ready to die, but you just have been putting so much thought into whatever this is that the universe is saying, and I'm getting this intuitively, that it's time to make a move. It's no longer time for pausing. Even though this is a card of pausing, I feel like you've done so much of that, really, like just thinking. You're actually starting to drive yourself crazy with it, and you need to make that decision. Is it serving your highest good? Your highest good, without thinking of anybody else, anybody. Is it serving your highest good, Virgo? Only you can answer that. Your second card is the underworld, where all things pause and begin again. The idea of an underworld, a whole realm that we go to after we die, is a concept that crosses a huge variety of cultures and eras. The Sumerians, the Turkish, the Incas, the Greeks, through to the Siberians, the Maori, and the Khmers all had a distinct word for the underworld. What is different, though, is how those cultures treat this concept. Whether the underworld is seen as a place of rest and rejuvenation or of horror and punishment. The Christian hell is a place of darkness, fire, and punishment. The Egyptian underworld is one of judgment, peace, and renewal. In Maori culture, it is an in-between place of waiting, wisdom, and transition. Many myths that mention the underworld often involve the concept of a place of waiting and of trials and eventual judgments. It can also be a place of joy and peace. Should the underworld card be present in your reading, you are being asked to consider exactly what you have to do to transform your life into something you find easier or more authentic to you. This may involve changing course. It may involve trials and tests. Keep moving forward. Whilst things may fall away and your life may appear bare for a time, this is temporary. Space is being made into which you can create the new. So, your life being bare as winter, right? Things falling away, just like the leaves fall off the trees. These cards go in perfect synchronicity with what I was just trying to tell you, Virgo. There's something or some things, it doesn't have to be just one thing, that are no longer serving your highest good. Your highest good. You need to worry right now about you and yourself. Stop worrying about hurting other people's feelings. At the end of the day, on your judgment day, right, you're not going to be judged for anyone else's sins or things they've done wrong. And when your day finally comes, when your winter is finally at hand, do you want to say that you lived your best life or that you stayed stuck? You are stuck in kind of a waiting period where a lot of people think it's like a purgatory kind of underworld. This is where you are right now. You're stuck. You're stuck in a situation or situations, and there is a way out, and you know the way out. But the thing is, it's going to take time and it's going to be painful. You have to stop putting everybody else first and start worrying about yourself before this leaf becomes your soul. You've got to make the right choices. You need to go not with your heart, Virgo. Your mind is probably very confused, and as I just told another sign, you need to focus very much on your intuition right now. Two cards with what look like they have the moon rising. The moon is the card of secrets being revealed. It's the Pisces card, but it's also a card of great intuition. The moon coming up behind the leaf is beautiful. It's illuminating the kind of putting an illuminating, beautiful spin on the death going on in this card. Mother Nature turning from fall to winter, from spring to fall, getting ready for the winter. You really need to trust your gut instincts at this time and let the universe guide you. Spend some time outside under the moonlight. When people bask in the sunlight, bask in the moonlight. You really need to stop taking the time for pausing because you've been doing that enough. You're confused enough. And you just need to figure out what it is you really want. And even if you're only kind of sure about what to do next, you know what to do now. You know what the right decision is in your mind, heart, and intuition. But for some reason, there's something blocking you. There's something, I feel like it might be that it's hurting someone's feelings, or maybe you're afraid that it's going to be too hard. But what is worse than waiting in this kind of limbo for your life to happen? It doesn't matter if you're 100 years old or 15 years old and watching this, right? It doesn't matter, anywhere in between. You're stuck, you're stagnant, you're going into winter, you're going into hibernation mode, and that's the worst thing you can do right now. The best thing you could do is move forward. We're going to hopefully clarify this a little more when I pull the mermaid card, because that's going to tell you which way to move. This is a very deep reading, and my intuition just keeps saying move forward, you know, move forward. And there's only so many times and so many different ways I can say that. So hopefully we'll get some clarification with the Skull of Flowers, which is creating through the ashes. Before flowers are born, they are sweet buds on a plant that came from a smaller form like a seed or a bulb. The seed needs prepared, nourishing soil to grow to its potential. Some plants and trees only seed after fire or a period of extreme adversity like drought or flood. Sometimes we wish for a life different from the one we have, and that can mean radical change. Sometimes to have that new life, everything falls apart to make it so, and that can be really uncomfortable. We may lose our relationships, or they may change. We might lose a job, have to move house, or become sick. All big events that lead to a reassessment of the how of our lives. The Skull of Flowers illustrates that there is a sureness and yet a rawness to creating again, to starting afresh. Sometimes the universe gives us a blank slate to work from so we can build what we really want rather than just settling for less. The Skull of Flowers celebrates not just a kind of phoenix energy, but an energy of success and full bloom through adversity. So right there, this entire reading just pulled right together, right? Something in your life has reached its winter. It's dying. It's reached its end. And if you don't want to become this leaf with pieces of yourself and your soul just crumbling off every single day as you live your life that has become miserable because all you're doing is pondering on this one situation or this one person, this one thing, right? And you know there's so much more. So you stay stuck pausing in this waiting period. This waiting period that's been going on for far too long. For far too long. Not calling you out, I'm a Pisces. It's like procrastinators meeting postponed in my head all the time. But what this reading is saying is that if you take whatever it is that's dead and gone, and you know what it is it your job? Is it your romantic relationship? Is it your, you know, a relationship with a family member that you just can't deal with anymore? Is it more than one thing? It probably is, because of the chaoticness that I see in all of these cards. The skull, the leaves, the moon, the beauty, the death, the pain, the flowers, right? There's a lot of chaotic energy that's just coming through me. Like, I don't know if you can, I feel like all jumbled and scrambled because of the feelings that I'm getting while reading this. So if you take whatever is dead and or dying and stop pausing on it, there's no more time to think on it. I mean, you can take all the time in the world to think on it and just stay stuck in this purgatory, this underworld for the rest of your life, being afraid to move on. But if you move on, you're going to go from this skull stuck in the underworld who has this pomegranate in his mouth backwards. He can't even eat, right? stuck, stagnant, possibly sick, literally or figuratively, to this skull right up in your face, flowers blooming. You are going to have an amazing life. If you get rid of what is not serving you anymore, you are going to be living your best life. The universe, once you get rid of this, the universe is going to just throw you blessing after blessing after blessing, and you aren't going to be able to believe that you waited so long in this damn purgatory. You need to stop thinking about it, stop making up excuses, stop thinking of the reasons why not, stop worrying about how hard it's going to be, and trust in the universe that the universe has got you. The universe is telling you right here, the moon rising. Look at the illumination on all of the death that's going on, the dead of winter, but how beautiful it is. The universe has got you. Look at the illumination behind this skull who has even forgotten how to eat properly because of the stress and strain of being in this stagnant whatever it is. And then look at this, the beautiful flowers. They're even a part of the skull. It all bloomed from this death of this winter. I don't really even know how much more plainly I can explain it. I could have just been quiet and read from the book to get that point across. I mean, it can't be any more clear. And the time is now. If the universe is telling you the time is now, that means that there is a way for the time to be now. That means that there is a way out for you. So why don't you start thinking about that? If you need to quit your job, if this situation is like, say, your job, and whatever it is, just take it as it resonates. And you think, okay, well, I can't just get up and quit my job, Gemma, because I don't have, anything to fall back on, or I'm going to have to start an entry-level position, or whatever. I don't have the money. The universe is saying, take that chance, and they will go out and look. At least try to look to find something else instead of sitting miserable all day. Search for opportunities, and the universe will provide them for you. Stop making excuses. You are going to end up stuck in this winter for a really long time. When the universe comes and knocking with something as big as the skull of flowers, you need to take that opportunity. Sisterhood, friendship, allies, compatible souls, loyalty, joy, and delight. This is what you need right now. Instead of ruminating all by yourself in this purgatory, you need people that you can trust. It doesn't have to be women, sisterhood, brotherhood, friendship, soul compatibility. Actually, there is a soul connection coming into your life, but not in a romantic sense. It's someone that your soul is connected to, a soulmate, one of your soul's mates. Right? I don't believe in soulmates as a romantic thing. I believe it's a mate of your soul from when you were in heaven or the beyond, wherever you think you go when you die. You kind of make this pact with these other souls that you'll run into each other again and help each other. A soul connection that's already in your life, you're going to need to lean on them hard. Let other people help you too, Virgo. You're so set in your ways sometimes that you want to do everything by yourself. You don't ever want to ask anyone for help. This is the universe telling you, let other people help you. Ask for help. Do you see how they're all on this rock and they're all holding hands and kind of hanging on to each other as the other fish swim around? I see up here, it's like the sun coming in and shining right on them. That's the universe coming onto you and people who are going through the same thing as you or who have went through the same thing as you. You need to lean on each other, but not to the point where you're all sitting there in this winter and just ruminating in the underworld, right? In purgatory or whatever. Let people help you. Reach out. Find a way, because the universe is offering you life after the death of whatever this situation is, so that you can get out of here and live your best life and be happy. That's all I have for you today, Virgo. I hope this helped. If you want a personal reading with me, please check out the description box for my email address. Have your best day, have your best night, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.